What if I told you the scariest enemy you will ever face isn't hiding in the dark, but living right inside you? An enemy that whispers doubts, builds fears, and changes your dreams before you even take your first step. Tonight, let me tell you a story. A story of a man who discovered the truth that his greatest competition was not the world outside, but the shadow within. In a quiet town on the edge of the English countryside lived a young man named Eryas. Eryas wasn't poor, nor was he rich. He was ordinary. But inside him was a storm of voices. Every night when the world slept, he would hear them whispers crawling in his head. You're not good enough. They're better than you. Why even try? The voices grew louder, darker, until one night he woke up to find a figure. Standing in the corner of his room, it was tall, cloaked in shadows, and yet its face was terrifyingly familiar. It was himself. This other Eryas smirked and whispered, You can't escape me. I am you. I am every doubt you've ever believed. From that night forward, his life turned into a battle. Every time he tried to start something, study, work, even chasing his dreams, the shadow appeared, mocking him, pulling him back. And the scariest part, no one else could see it. Months passed. The more Eryas ignored his goals, the stronger the shadow grew. Yes. He stopped meeting people, stopped chasing dreams, and locked himself inside his house. But one night, as rain pounded against his window, he had a dream. In the dream, he saw a mirror glowing with light. On it was carved, Your only true competition is you. When he touched the mirror, the reflection didn't show his weak, fearful self. Instead, it showed a stronger, braver Eryas, the version he had always wanted to become. And then he realized the truth. The shadow wasn't a monster from outside. It was the weaker version of him, feeding on his fear. If he wanted to live, he had to fight not the world, not people, but himself. The next morning he woke up and looked at the shadow in the corner. It smiled, expecting him to break again. But this time, Eryas whispered, I am not afraid of you anymore. He picked up his notebook, wrote his goals, and stepped outside. Every step he took toward growth, the shadow screamed, shrinking smaller and smaller. He exercised when he wanted to quit, studied when his mind said you can't. He worked when his heart begged him to rest. And slowly, the shadow vanished. Not because it died, but because he stopped feeding it. Years later, Eryas became a man respected in his town. But when people asked him, who was your biggest rival, your biggest competition, he always smiled and said, the man in the mirror. I realized the world isn't against me. My own doubts were. And once I defeated them, no one else stood a chance. Look, we all have that inner shadow. Sometimes it takes the shape of shyness holding us back from speaking up. Other times, it's fear that makes us freeze instead of taking action. It might be insecurity whispering that you're not good enough, smart enough, or beautiful enough. Maybe it's the feeling of not being worthy of love or happiness. Whatever shape it takes, it feeds on our negative emotions, making us feel like giving up. But the truth is this: your greatest opponent isn't the world or your circumstances. It's the weaker version of yourself, the one that's scared, doubtful, and wants to give up. Here's the deal. That shadow, those insecurities, those doubts, they're all a part of you. Can't avoid them or ignore them. You have to acknowledge them and realize that they don't get to control you. Once you understand that your greatest competition is the negative thoughts inside your head, you start winning. It's not easy. It's a daily battle. Some days you'll feel like quitting. Some moments you'll want to give up. But here's what you do. You look inside yourself, identify that shadow, and tell it, I am not afraid of you anymore. Take that small step forward. It doesn't matter how small. Then another step, and another. And soon you'll find that the darkness is shrinking, moving forward. Keep taking action towards your dreams, your goals, your happiness. As you do, the shadow will fade away because you're not feeding it anymore. This is your reminder to stop giving power to the negative voices inside your head. You are not your doubts. You're not your fears. You're the one who decides what you become. So go out there and win that battle. Win it for yourself. Prove to that weaker self that it doesn't have to exist anymore. Because you, the real you, the strong you, the capable you, you're going to make sure that you chase those dreams, that you reach those goals, that you live that life that you're meant to live. Remember, the greatest competition is not out there. It's in here. The only way to win is to keep moving forward, no matter how scared you are, no matter how weak you feel,
Yet.
no matter how many times you want to give up. Because the day you stop feeding your fears, they lose all their power over you. If you liked this story and want to learn from more stories just like this one, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Thank you for watching.